Shabbat Shalom, Mishpacha. This is Rabbi Simon. And here we are at another Sabbath, Baruch Hashem, great day. I don't really have, a lot of testimonies today, but I do have something of interest. Excuse me. I have something of interest which might actually interest you as well. Is that I've spoken about, this. Excuse me. We spoke about this so-called moon landings, claiming Mars landings and all these things. Here's a surprising thing. The surprising thing is this, that you have people like Elon Musk, called billionaires out there, who claim that they are sending their spacecraft to wherever up in the sky. And of course, it's not where they tell you. First of all, I wanted to bring to you something which I've spoken a little bit about before, is the word NASA word, and it means to beguile and to deceive. That's what the word actually means. If you open up the logo and you look at it, it has two lines going through it, red color lines. If you imagine you attach a snake's head to it, that's the tongue of a snake, by the way. Yeah, those two lines. And you will see it clearly. NASA is, in my opinion, NASA is just there to deceive people, make this fake footage of Mars and Moon and whatever else they claim they're going, but they're not going anywhere, because God has created a firmament which cannot be crossed. And that firmament, we spoke about it before, is mentioned in the book of Genesis. Very, very clearly, God mentions that there is a firmament that protects us. The idea of this firmament is not a hindrance, it is actually a protection for us humans. Nothing can come in. Genesis 1 verse 6, it's a firmament in the midst of the waters. So there's waters above and there's waters beneath, and there's that firmament. And it says, let it divide the waters from the waters. So there's waters above the firmament and below the firmament. This is why we see a blue sky. And so it's quite important to understand that don't get caught up with this, we are going to the Venus now, and we're going to wherever, and we've already landed in Mars, and we're taking pictures. The whole thing, everything that you hear on the media is totally false. So don't pay any attention to any of that stuff. It's just all of that stuff is really to keep you confused, so you cannot progress in your life. That's what they would like to do, that so you do not progress in your life and you stay where you are. Now, coming back to being prosperous, being healthy, being happy. And there are times when you are not happy because perhaps you are unemployed, or perhaps you maybe have an illness, any of those kind of things. What does that mean? Does that mean that God is... You see, a lot of the time when these things happen, the first thing that we tend to do is we question, am I a sinner? Did I commit sins? Is God angry with me because I'm a sinner? And we run this thing and we say to ourselves, this is a mental talk. Mentally you're talking to yourself. You're not saying this out loud, by the way. You're mentally talking to yourself, and you're asking yourself that did you commit a sin? Did you do something wrong? Blah, 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 and all of that. And it turns out to be that mental talk is extremely wrong for you. Because remember, mental talk equals affirmation. The more you ask yourself, the more you're repeating the same thing, the more it comes to pass in your life. Whatever you're speaking about today mentally, that will show up in your world either in a few days, either in a few weeks. It will show up. Like, let's say, you can test this. This theory can be proven. Let's say that you're thinking in your head about a yellow color car. You say to yourself, it'd be nice if I see a yellow color car. And you say that, and then you forget about it. And then, either the same day or a few days later, you see a yellow color car on the road. Because that was a mental conversation you were having. So don't be conscious of not having mental talks with yourself that are negative about you, or maybe you are putting yourself down. Don't do that. The other thing that happens with people is when they get bills, and you've often seen this in your relatives, friends, when they get bills, they're always complaining, oh, I've got this bill, and I've got this energy bill to pay, and I've got this internet bill to pay, and I've got that bill to pay. So they complain. And they're not just verbally complaining to you, but they're also complaining in their mental conversation. When you complain to yourself in your mental conversations, they become hardcore facts. And those things are going to show up more in your life. More bills are going to come. And then you're going to have more to complain about. So what is it? Well, I can tell you that the universe, so-called universe that we live in, is like a mirror. Whatever you say to the mirror, it will reflect back. If you complain about your present situation, it will show you more of that. If you are happy about your situation, it will give you more of that. Think about abundance. Don't think about abundance just as money. Oh, yeah, just money. No. Think of abundance as things in your home, things around you, things outside. So, could be, you step outside, and what is abundant? You see cars everywhere. You see buildings everywhere. What is that? That's abundance. Look at that as abundance. Yeah, look at this beautiful abundance. Trees. You walk into a park, lots of trees. That's abundance. Yeah, the trees are abundance. It costs money to put those trees there. You go outside, you see buildings, it costs money to put buildings there. That's abundance. So start telling yourself, repeating to yourself, I have abundance all around me. There's abundance everywhere. I walk out, my goodness, look at those expensive cars, look at those expensive buildings. Yeah, abundance everywhere. I'm surrounded by abundance. Hey, it's great. Surrounded by abundance. There was a teacher, a Canadian teacher, a law of attraction teacher. His name is John Kehoe. And he spoke about a time when he wasn't so well, doing so well financially. I mean, he's probably a multi-millionaire now, but he wasn't doing so well. And he said that when I wasn't doing so well, what I did to get myself away from the city, I got myself a cabin in the woods somewhere. He's a Canadian. He went to Canada somewhere in the woods in a cabin, and he said, all I did every day when I came out, he had no money back then. He had no money. I didn't focus on not having money. He said, all I did is I kept telling myself, and I came outside into the forest, I saw all these trees, plants, everything. I said, hey, look at this abundance. Look at this great abundance around me. He goes, every day, an exercise that I did, this is prior to him becoming a millionaire. He just told himself, look at the abundance. Look at this huge, expensive trees around me. I got abundance everywhere. I'm abundant. I am abundant. I have abundance all around me. You sit in your home and you have your phone, that's abundance. You have your laptop, that's abundance. You have your TV, that's abundance. So you got to now start repeating to yourself when you sit down, instead of cursing yourself, instead of telling yourself, oh, you're a loser, no, you start telling yourself, I got abundance all around me. Abundance comes to me on my TV, my telephone, my car, my home, whatever that you own, you tell yourself, wow, I am surrounded by abundance. Isn't that great? So focus and start focusing on abundance. And if you're looking for a job, then what should you be telling yourself? Hey, everybody wants to employ me. Yeah, I've got jobs coming out of woodwork, jobs coming out of West calling. Yeah, start telling yourself, even though it may not be that the agents are not calling you, you start telling yourself, agencies are calling me. I have abundance. They all want to employ me. They want to give me a job, so they want me to work for them. I am a great asset. When you start doing that, remember what I just said. Whatever you are mentally chattering is going to happen to you in a few days' time. In a few days, in a few weeks, it'll show up. It will show up. So start doing that. Instead of complaining about your illness, start telling yourself, I'm healed. Hey, I'm feeling very, very good today. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling great. Hey, my goodness, I'm so healthy now. You know, I had my friend, she messaged me and she said, you know, even though I go out and I mow my grass, and I do this and that, and I do many different tasks, and she's 80 years of age. And she says that I feel great. I feel happy. I feel strong. I'm getting grounding on the grass. I'm really, really happy. So, see, you've got to put yourself into that state of having happiness now. Not being happy because you have $10 million in the bank, and not being happy because, you know, you have a dream job. No. Listen, happiness is what you tell yourself. Happiness is not about having the money. You have probably met, and I have met billionaires and multimillionaires who are so unhappy with their lives. Yet they have money in the bank, but they're so unhappy. Why? Because it's not the money that's going to make you happy. It's you. You are the person. Listen, you are the money. You are the abundance. So start telling yourself that I am the money. I am the abundance. Because why? Because God will only work through you. God is not going to work through some animal, some bird. God's going to work through you. So you are the abundance. You have the Spirit of God. How important is that? So, from today, as an advice from me, start focusing on abundance all around you. Start being happy. If you are ill, you want health, start telling yourself how healthy you are. Start imagining that you are healthy, you're running around, you're so happy. Start seeing that picture so that picture will reflect in your life. I saw so here. I'm telling you, my goodness. I walk on the road, I say walk. Obviously, I'm not walking on the road. I'm going through my little car. I ride my little car around, Suzuki. I ride it around, and what I see, right? I see abundance everywhere. My goodness, people are selling their animals. I see calves, I see sheep, I see all these things right on the road. I say, wow. And my friend comes and tells me, says, how much they're selling that calf for? They're selling that calf for, that calf they're selling for $3,000, $4,000. That bull they're selling for like $20,000. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money, $20,000 for that bull, and $2,000, $3,000 for that calf. Wow, that's an expensive little calf. And abundance is all around you. Abundance is everywhere. Never, ever say to yourself that you lack anything. You don't lack nothing. You are in the midst of abundance. There is abundance everywhere. Beware of that. Start telling yourself, start tuning yourself to abundance. There's abundance all around you. Some of these buildings that you are in the midst of, they may be worth millions of dollars each. Imagine that. If you live in New York in the concrete jungle, some of those buildings are worth billions of dollars. That's abundance all around you. Cars around you, abundance everywhere. God has created you for abundance, good health, great life. Start programming yourself with that. Let's come back to John chapter 13. Let's look at this. Let me just make sure that if we've done this, we can do it again, no problem. because I would like to do a chapter of John today and look at Yeshua Jesus, how he interacted with the people and what happened during his stay. Last week my lecture was ego, dissolve the ego. And remember, I spoke about the ego does not want to let go. It's your ego that keep you back, keep you locked up, keep you, put a ceiling above you, put a ceiling or put a limitation below you, so you can't advance. So you need to dissolve that ego. Listen to my lecture again if you haven't listened to it. You'll learn a lot. And then also listen to the lecture I gave on 24 May. To him that has, more will be given. If you are happy about abundance, more abundance will come to you. If you are unhappy, then that which you have will be taken away. So, John chapter 13. Now before the Moed, celebration of the Passover, mercy, salvation, Passover, when Yeshua knew that his hour had come, that he should depart out of this world to the Abba, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them to the end. So love each other. Now the message here that we are getting from Jesus is learn to love each other. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Yehuda of Kirioth, that's Judas Iscariot, Shimon, Simon's son, to betray him. Yeshua, knowing that the Abba had given all things into his hands, that he had come from Elohim and went to Elohim, he rose from the supper and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself, and that he poured mayim, water, into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. So we may have looked at this before. This is where Peter says to Master Yeshua, he says, hey, don't wash my feet. And and first he asked him, why you want to wash my feet? And the Master Yeshua says to him that, what I'm doing you don't know, but you'll know afterwards. But then he goes to him that you shall never wash my feet. Then Master Yeshua answered him, if I wash you not, then you have no part with me. Then Shimon Kefa, he said to him, Master, not just my feet, but my hands and head also. And Yeshua corrects him that if you have bathed, you only need to wash your feet, because you're already clean. You don't need to wash your hands and rest of your head. Because it says that for he knew that you should, who should betray him. And we spoke about this, that the betrayal was going to come. And Yeshua actually said that the betrayal is going to come from the one he passes bread to. When he says that, in verse 22, we note that it says that disciples looked onto each other, worried of whom he spoke. And they're all wondering, who is he speaking about? Who is it? And then in verse 26, Jesus here now tells them, the Master Jesus tells them that it is the one I will dip the bread with, or give this piece of bread to when I've dipped it. And it is him. And that happens to be, of course, Yehuda Iscariot, or Judas Iscariot. And so we see that before this departure of Jesus, before all these things happened, we note that Jesus, Master Yeshua, leaves a command. He says, a new commandment I give ye, that ye love one another, as I have loved ye, that ye also love one another. But this shall all men know that you are my disciples if you love one another. And at this point, Kepha asks him, where are you going, Master? And he says, where I go, you cannot follow me, but you shall follow me afterwards. And then Kepha, being the questioner, he says to him, well, why I can't follow you? And he says, I will lay down my life for your sake. And, according to history, Kepha was crucified upside down because that's what he wanted. Remember, he gets what he wants. You get what you want. So be very sure of what you want. If you want to be crucified upside down, that shall be given to you. Yeshua answered him, will you lay down your life for my sake? And he says, the crier shall not blow the shofar till you have denied me 3 times. And we know that according to the New Testament, he denied him 3 times. And we also see that in chapter 14, it says, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in, it says in your translations, probably God. In the 7th edition of the Abrahamic-Faith Studies Bible, or the Hebrew, Hidden Truths Hebraic Scrolls, it says, you believe in Yud-He, Vah-He, believe in me also, the great I am. Let not your heart be in the great I am, believe in me also. In my Abba's Beit are many staying places. It might be translated as mentions in your various translations. Staying places means like traveling inns. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to make ready a place for you. In paradise, by the way, and if I go and make ready a place for you, I will return and receive ye to myself, but where I am, there you may also be also. But where I go now, or where I go you know, and the way you know. Thomas said to him, Master, Adonai, Lord, we know not where you go, and how can we know the way? Master Yeshua said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Comes to the Abba but through me. Now, let's conceptualize this as a spiritual, mystical fact. Let's not just make it like Christianity does. Oh, you have to go through Jesus and all this. Let's for a minute not go that route. Let's go to the route where, imagine Jesus, Yeshua, he was a physical person, of course, I'm not denying that, but imagine that Yeshua, Jesus, the Master Jesus, is your imagination for a minute. Conceptualize this as a he, or let's put it that he is inside you. Let's do it the other way. He is inside you. Because he says, I am the way. So if he is the way and is inside you, then whatever you want to manifest in your life, may it be $1 billion, may it be great health, long, ever. He says that no man comes to the Father but through me. Means that in order for you to get your manifestation, desire, you have to go through the Jesus who's inside you. Remember I spoke about the heart being a spring, an organ that emits frequency. It's not what the doctors tell you, it's much more than that. They only have 40% of the story, 30% of the story. Heart is very powerful. The reason why God forbade us from eating certain foods, it wasn't because what people think. It was because those foods dull us. They dull our frequency. Let's talk about alcohol. If you drink alcohol, although it's allowed, it will dull your frequency. It will dull you down. It will dull your senses. If you have some of these strong spirits like whiskey and vodka, you take a couple of these, 2-3 shots of these, you probably be spinning. I'd probably be spinning if I did that. I don't. If I did that, I'd be spinning because these are very strong alcoholic drinks. They'll dumb you down, and you don't want that. You don't want to be dumbed down. You want to be alert. You want to be able to manifest your desires in an alert state. And how can you even remember your desire when you're drunk and you're falling all over the place? The whole idea, why this society, why these governments allow you to do this, allow you to become drunk and falling all over the place, because they want to keep you dulled down. They don't control you. And the more dulled down you are, the more you don't know what's going on, the more they can control you. The Rockefellers, I read a little bit on the Rockefellers of America, USA, how they designed the education system, how they designed the medical system, and the reason they did that is so they can control the masses, so they can have constant labor. They had factories, they had oil refineries, they had everything. And they had so much wealth, they wanted to control the people. And in order to control the people, they did all of that. They set the education system so they can never come out of this quagmire. The education system is full of lies, full of mistruths. So they want to keep you trapped in that. And you know and I know that sure, you can do your job, you can work for other people, and maybe some jobs pay you good money as well, but the only way you come out of this trap is to have your own business. If you want to be a master of your, if you want to be a captain of your ship and master of your destiny, as Oprah used to say, I'm the captain of my soul and the master of my destiny. That was the affirmation she used to read before she became a billionaire. If you want to be that, you have to start looking at business. Even any business. Then there's lots of businesses out there. And it's not that every business is suitable for you. There may be businesses that are suitable and that are not. So you just have to try which one works for you. You have to keep trying which one works. So this is why it's important to understand that, we are going through Jesus. In other words, my imagination takes me places. Your imagination is what takes you places. Whatever you want, you decide, you write it down, you intend, put an intention down that I want this. Put it down. Don't be afraid. And it will come to you. But you have to put the intention down. It's not going to come to you if you don't write it. If you don't put it down, how's it going to come? Only going to come if you put it down. You want a beautiful apartment? Write down, I want a beautiful apartment. You want a nice, you want a nice car? Write down, I want a nice car, and write down the model. Exact. I want such and such car, leather seats, alloys, etc. You write down the exact. You want an apartment? How many bedrooms? I want a 3-bedroom apartment, and where? And such location. You write it down. Once you write it down, now your intention is concrete. Now you start focusing on it. And I believe I may have read this chapter to you, and if I didn't, I would endeavor, because I think I read the ego. Let me read chapter 4, the line of manifestation from this book called Forming the Formless. So let's go there, 69. You might find this interesting. Look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. That's Albert Einstein's statement. Okay, let's read this. Throughout my time living in New York City, I desperately tried to grow fruits and vegetables on the little ledge of the window next to my bed. For 2 years, I was playing the game of trial and error, trying to grow tomatoes, cucumbers, mint, and an array of different herbs. After a long chain of failures, I finally got the hang of it. My herbs, fruits, vegetables were flourishing in my little 1-bedroom apartment. One morning, I woke up and to water the plants, and I realized something that I had never realized before. Something very apparent and obvious, something beautiful. The mint and tomato plant were both flourishing out of the same pot and the same soil. I saw this happening for weeks and never thought anything about it until one day I stared at it for a little longer than usual in quiet contemplation, This moment of silence led me to a realization, a very important realization, the line of manifestation. A concept behind the line of manifestation may seem confusing at first because it has to do with the limitless, formless realm. However, it is much simpler than you may think. The perfect analogy for understanding the line of manifestation exists all around you, especially in nature or the natural world. Just look at the soil. Our thoughts that form the formless. The fact that the same soil can give life to both a tomato plant and mint shows that the soil is indeed formless. Seed is what guides the formless to form. To learn from nature is to learn from truth. It cannot misguide you because it stems from truth. It stems from truth. A watermelon seed will always become a watermelon plant. A banana seed will always become a banana tree. You will never see a banana seed manifesting an apple tree or a watermelon seed manifesting a blueberry bush. Each seed has its own energetic blueprint to manifest into what it is built to manifest. You must learn from nature. You must focus your thoughts and energy on what you would like to manifest with no doubt and no other result in mind other than what you desire. It will surely manifest. You must focus the energy behind your thought, just as seeds focus their energy to manifest their desired creation, just as a tomato seed intends to form a tomato plant. Seeds do not make mistakes. Nature does not make mistakes. This is because nature works in perfect harmony, and you are a part of nature. You have access to perfection because you are perfection. The initial thought. So how do you focus your energy to manifest what you desire? Well, you do it all the time. Now you're just going to learn how to guide what you already know how to do into the direction that you desire. The law that energy cannot be created or destroyed shows us that anything that has manifested into physical reality was once in the formless state of energy, whether it be a car, a house, or a tree. Its essence has always existed. Let's revert to the example of the home. Before it existed as a physical, it first existed as a thought in someone's mind. From the thought came the design. Architects and engineers were hired to sketch the thought into a physical drawing. From there, contractors, electricians, and plumbers were hired to put the home together and construct it the way it was envisioned. Did you see what just happened there? A home that began as a thought in someone's mind is now a reality. The thinker formed the formless by focusing the energy behind their thought. The thought was a seed of energy that created the home that manifested into physical reality. Your thought is what dictates the formless to form. Your thought is the line of manifestation. Creating your seed. Your thoughts are responsible for manifesting all circumstances into your life. Your job, your relationships, your feelings, everything. The key is to be able to control what circumstances manifest, to be in control of your life. As you already understand, everything that has ever and will ever happen to you is the effect of a cause. Just like any plant tree, a flower that has ever and will ever grow is the effect of a seed. Your thoughts and intentions are what forms those causes. Just as you plant a specific seed to manifest a specific plant, you must create a specific cause through thought, through thought, through thought, through thought, to manifest a specific effect. Create your seed, plant your seed, and let it flourish. The first step to creating your seed is to visualize it. The first step to creating your seed is to visualize it. The first step to creating your seed is to visualize it. To make something real, you must first realize it. To realize literally means to make real. And where is the only place you can realize anything? Your mind. Yes, your mind. Your mind. Yes, the only way to realize something is with your mind. It is the first step in the process of manifesting absolutely anything. Again, it is the first step to creating your seed. And backwards, it is the first step in the process of manifesting absolutely anything. It is the first step to creating your seed. Your mind is the medium. Your mind is the medium between the real and the imaginary. Your mind is a tool that stands between the formed and the formless. And your thought is a tool that allows you to form the formless. Your mind is the ultimate tool. Use it. If you can visualize it, you can manifest it. If you can visualize it, you can manifest it. If you can visualize it, you can manifest it. Period. Once you visualize your desire, whether it be a brand new car or a life filled with love and happiness, the blueprint has been created. The second step to creating your seed is to focus and believe you can achieve your visualization with no doubt or fear whatsoever. If any doubt or fear exists within you, your seed will be overtaken with poison and will manifest a poisonous plant. Once your belief is set with no alternative result other than what you're aiming for, you must focus your attention back to your visualization. Think about it. Imagine having what it is that you desire. Act like you already have it. The more you focus on your specific goal, the more energy you're giving it to form. Energy flows where attention goes. Visualize, believe, focus, and manifest away. Again, visualize, believe, focus, and manifest away. You must always consciously decide where you want to focus your attention. And always remember that it is your decision. You are in control. You are not your thoughts. Yes, you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are simply cars passing by as you stand on the side of the road, observing them as they do so. Start making a habit to observe your own behavior, to witness your own conformity to the social norms have instilled within you. Set attention to improve in every aspect of your life, even in places in which you already excel. Where and how you choose to focus your attention will dictate the quality of your life. It will dictate what manifests into your life, whether it be love, health, happiness, anger, illness, depression. Focus on negativity and depression will manifest. Focus on positivity and happiness will manifest. Focus on lack and you will gain nothing. Focus on abundance, you will gain the world. End of chapter. So, in conclusion, you need to start focusing your thoughts on abundance. Exactly what I said earlier. You have abundance all around you. Set your intention. That is your seed. What do you want? If I ask you this question, what do you want? You must know what you want. Exactly, you need to know what you want. If I ask you what car do you want to drive, you need to know what car, what model, what color, what kind of trim. You need to know those details. When you go to a garage to buy a car, you don't just say to the salesman, show me any car that you got for sale. You don't say that. You ask for a particular model, a particular color, a particular type of seats, and maybe particular type of wheels. So if you do that to purchase a car, why not what you want in your life? And when I say to you, how much money do you want? Don't just say I want to be rich. That's not an amount. You need to know exactly how much. How much is rich? To somebody who gets a meal, that's rich. So you eaten for 5 days and you give him a meal, he's so grateful because he's rich now, because he's got a meal. But that may not be the rich you want. So what is rich to you? Is it 10 million? Is it 50 million? Is it 200 million? What is rich to you? Everybody's different. So we can't quantify and say, oh yeah, it's the same for everybody. It's not. It's not the same for everybody. Everybody's different. 5 fingers on your hand are all different sizes. So need to know what is rich means to you. How much? How many millions? And where is it coming from? Is it coming from a business? Maybe you don't care about the where. You just set an intention. And you set an intention that you have, whatever millions you decided. Millions. Now continue to focus your energy on it. And then you are manifesting it. Whilst you're focusing on it, you are manifesting it. It's happening. But maybe sometimes it might be a good idea to say, like that Robert Millikan lad, that little kid, who said, I have a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. Really, really nice affirmation. And it was great. Why? Because he knew that he could acquire the money from many different avenues. But what if it was illegal? Maybe that's something that you don't want. You don't want to acquire illegal money. So you might want to actually say something like, I have, let's just throw a number in the air. I have $50 million. I'm just saying that this might be an intention, or you might say, I want $50 million with, money that comes to me with integrity and mutual benefit. How's about that? I want $50 million of money that comes to me through integrity and mutual benefit. And you set your intention. Now you start. Once you set your intention, you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to keep saying it. Once you set it, you wrote it down. You're happy with it. You can modify it, tweak it here and there. If you change your mind a little bit on the amount or the type or what, you can change it today, tomorrow, day after, week later. That's no problem. But you start to now visualize it. What do you visualize? You visualize that you have that money. How would you feel? What kind of clothes will you be wearing? Would it be your wife who will congratulate you? Would it be your cousin? Would it be, who would you tell? And of course, you don't tell everybody. Because, people will come begging for loans from you if you had the money. So you don't want to tell everybody about it. When you have money like that, you keep quiet. You only tell a few people, very close confidants, your rabbi, maybe your wife. And sometimes maybe not even your wife. Sometimes you don't even tell your wife that you have the money. Or your husband for that matter. Why? Because they might want to misuse it. If you told your rabbi, you told your teacher, no problem. He can give you advice. But he's not gonna be borrowing money from you. He's not gonna say, give me a $10 million loan. But you have relatives who come to you, say, they'll suddenly feel that they are, they must have money you're supposed to give them. They feel entitled. Suddenly you have $50 million, now they feel entitled. Now they come to you, we are entitled. Give me $50,000, give me $1 million. So don't tell everybody. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to your teacher, to yourself. And, don't do anything. If you have money, don't do anything immediately with it. Leave it sitting for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Leave it sitting down in the bank or wherever it is. And you do your necessary, you do your tithes, whatnot, but you don't step into any business yet. You don't go out buy luxury cars. Don't do anything like that to attract attention. Wait on all of that. First, you want to make some investments, that you invest that money for your business, so that money can make money for you. And then, then you can go and do your shopping and, if you want to buy a new car or whatever, you do that. But then again, don't attract attention, especially family. If your family finds out that you have money, that you have, 20 million stacked in the account, you're going to see queues of people coming to your home and you're going to start getting fights. Have you heard of millionaire stories of these people who won millions of dollars in lotteries and they were having fights with their wives, with their relatives, because they all wanted a share, they all felt entitled. That's why be careful. Money needs to be controlled. Money is energy. If the energy has been given to you, it needs to be controlled properly so it can benefit you. All of those put aside, just to end the lecture, remember, give thanks to God always, give gratitude to God every day. Read, Psalm. I encourage you to read Psalm 150 read Psalm 18, Psalm 103, give thanks to God every day. Be grateful. That's the first thing. Do the right thing and God will reward you. Live in abundance, think abundance, see abundance. Remove this nastiness from your mind of telling yourself that you're a loser, you're no good, you're unsuccessful. Don't do any of those things. Stop doing those things immediately. Start praising yourself. Start telling yourself how great you are. Start telling yourself that you're abundant. Start telling that God created you for abundance. God created you for goodness. God created you as a light to others. Start telling yourself that. So the Master Yeshua may bless you. Bless you abundantly. So with that, have a wonderful Sabbath. Have a happy, happy Sabbath. Enjoy your time with your families. Baruch Hashem. Enjoy your weather. Until next time. Shabbat Shalom to you and Shalom Shalom.